If you have a sewing machine that doesn't have a start-stop button, but it does have the slider and it does have a needle up down, this video will explain how you use them. It also helps the people who do have a start-stop button. For those people, check out the video about what to do with a start-stop button, but also how it operates differently when you've got a foot control inserted in the machine. When you don't have a foot control in, your start-stop button operates the machine, and this determines how fast it goes. But once I put my foot control into the machine, which I've just done, when I press the start-stop button now, the machine is telling me to remove the foot control. The start-stop button is actually subordinate to the foot control. So as soon as you've got a foot control in there, the start-stop button's not going to do anything anyway. Now, all the machines are the same, whether they've got a start-stop button or not. And today we're talking about what happens with a foot control inserted, what this does now, and also what the needle up-down button does. This is my DC 3050 turned on, and I'm ready to sew. When I turn it on, the needle's in the up position. It stops in the up position every time until I put the needle down, and then it will stop every time in the down position. The needle up-down button is a toggle switch. If the needle is up and you press that switch, it goes down. If it's down and you press the switch, it goes up. Each time that is using up a stitch in the pattern. So if you are wanting to do, for example, a buttonhole, and you're using that switch to move the needle up and down, you're using up stitches in your buttonhole or your decorative stitch. And the down position is usually where I want it to be. Work out what way your machine does it, because it does vary from machine to machine. I think the DC 6050 defaults to the down position, so as soon as you turn it on, it will go so down, so down. That's because they know that we mostly want the needle to end up in the down position, because if we do have to lift the foot up and turn stuff around, we want that needle there so that everything doesn't move. It's actually a wonderful thing to have the needle stopping in the down position, and you don't have to do anything to make that happen once you've got it set that way. The needle up-down position has two positions that it will put that needle: down halfway through a stitch and up completely finished a stitch. The reason that is important, and that I would prefer people who have a needle up-down to use it rather than moving things with the flywheel, is because of this. Perhaps I've got to the end of what I want to do and I just want to lift the needle up now and get the fabric out. If I do that with the hand winding, I am going to have, and you probably can't see this, but the take-up lever is going up. Look, the needle's all the way up now. Lift the foot, go to pull the fabric out, and it's actually stuck. You can see there are multiple threads underneath. And that's because it hadn't actually finished that stitch. The needle's up, but it's not gone the whole way. I'm going to keep winding, and now I can get it out. And now I will start sewing again and hope that I haven't mucked up the machine, because sometimes that does muck up the machine. Okay. If you hand wind, there is every possibility that you are not going to get it completely to the end of the stitch. If you use the needle up-down button, I have definitely got that to the end of the stitch now. When I lift it up and take it out, it's easy. Not only does the needle up-down make sure that you have completely finished a stitch and you can therefore get the fabric out without it getting caught underneath, it has also made sure that when you pull the fabric out and cut it off, put it back in to start sewing again, it's not going to unthread itself because everything is in the right place for you to start a new line of stitching. The reason I want you to use the needle up down button rather than the flywheel is that that will always have you at the complete finish of the stitch. So what does the slider do now that you don't have a start-stop button operating the machine? At the moment my slider is set as low as it will go, and I'm about to put my foot on the pedal and make it go as hard as I can go. And that is how fast the machine can possibly go. When I move this up, it will go faster, but this has now become a speed limiter. Essentially at this point, the slider has become like a policeman who can somehow control what the top speed is that your car can go at. They can't turn it off completely, but they can slow it down. And that's what this piece is doing. So if your machine was capable of doing 1,000 stitches per minute and you turned the slider right down, it doesn't matter how hard you push the foot control, it's not going to do that 1,000 stitches per minute. This is a wonderful thing to have when you're trying to teach somebody how to sew, because the machine won't get away from you in the same way it can when it's going quickly. As a by-the-by on that, Janome has, and I'm sure the other brands do as well, presser feet that are designed to stop you from being able to get your fingers too close to the needle. So if you're trying to teach somebody and you're a bit worried about them sticking their fingers in the way, there are things that you can do to make it a bit safer. It cannot stop the machine. I have to do that with the foot control. As soon as you have got a foot control in your machine, this slider becomes a speed limiter. But making your machine start and stop is completely done with the foot control. I really hope you've learned something about your machine today and why the needle up down button is so important, and how you could perhaps use that slider to make your life a bit easier. If you've made it to the end and you're not asleep and YouTube hasn't just sent you here, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.